As our soldiers squared off against a hostile neighbor for yet another freezing winter, we were there. When brutality overwhelmed justice and a mockery was made of the rule of law, we were there. When the death of our first Chief of Defence Staff united our nation, we were there. Hope, justice, the truth. Left, right and centre with me, Vishnu Shom, Monday to Thursday, 9 p.m. on NDTV 24/7.
Legacy is often seen as a burden of expectations. It comes with its own set of challenges. The challenge to take it forward, challenge to reimagine, challenge to be in the present, and also challenge to think about the future.
What accountability are you talking about?
As long as the core values and principles remain uncompromised. Debates are essential not just for journalism but for humanity. It ignites our mind, opens it up for counter-opinion.
Hello and welcome. I'm Sonal Mehrotra Kapoor. You're watching Health and Wellness, Facts and Myths. Now, we've been dealing with the global pandemic since March of 2020, and it's had an impact on every aspect of our life. Pandemic has been affected in every corner of the world, physically, emotionally, and even financially. Just when we thought we would come to terms with the Delta variant of COVID-19, comes along Omicron, and the timing couldn't be worse. If you were looking forward to a holiday season with fewer restrictions than last year, COVID-19 induced anxiety may be rearing its ugly head. Mental health has long been recognized as a factor in physical well-being, a fact that has become starkly apparent during the pandemic as well. Stress, isolation, uncertainty can then exacerbate anxiety and depression in people with chronic illnesses like diabetes, cardiovascular diseases, leading to poor self-care and worsening of health problems. Stress and sleep deprivation has also affected chronic metabolic conditions the most. Unfortunately, it is a less talked about topic, and there are many misconceptions and doubts about this as well. We have a panel of experts today for you who will guide us regarding stress and its effect on metabolic disorder. Joining us today is Dr. Amit Kumar, MBBS AIIMS Delhi, PG Diabetes from UK, PGDI AB from USA, diabetologist and physician, Sugar Care Clinic in Patna. Also with us is Dr. Nitish Garg, MD, DM, FICC, FACC USA, FESE London, Director Cardiology and Interventional Cardiology, Institute of Medical Science in Jalandhar. Let me take the first question to Dr. Kumar then. Dr. Kumar, the Omicron coronavirus variant seems to produce milder symptoms and fewer hospitalizations than Delta because of the vaccines or just the way variant is. Is it true that it is more sort of effective but less, more in a way infectious but less deadly? Can we conclusively say that? Because as we speak, remember, the number of hospitalization might not be as high as Delta but is going up steadily in major metros.
Yes, thank you for inviting me for today's show. You are right. It seems true to me also, but more research needed to prove your statement that new Omicron variant of COVID-19 is having less symptoms, less hospitalization compared to Delta waves. But it's true that this is a super fast spread of this Omicron, but less deadly. There are some mild difference between the symptoms between the Omicron and the Delta variant, because this Omicron has got joint pain, myalgia, headache, and these symptoms are new. Unlike the Delta variant, where the sore throat was more common, this Omicron has got the scratchy throat. So other thing is that the loss of smell and the taste is not prominent in Omicron variant. So the main thing is that this Omicron got multiplying in the throat, where the Delta variant was multiplying in the respiratory system. So a lot of case right now, we don't see breathlessness, we don't see decreased saturation, decreased oxygen saturation. We don't see pneumonia. Where in the Delta variant, a lot of patients needed oxygen, a lot of patients needed hospitalization, a lot of patients were suffering from pneumonia. So these symptoms are not there with this Omicron. So the symptoms-wise, it is very less severe compared to Delta variant. But the spread is super fast because this Omicron has got mutation on the spike proteins, a lot of mutation on the spike protein. That's why I think it's spreading very fast and in the population. Right now, we can see in the 10 days before, India was having less than 10,000 cases, and today we got more than 58,000 cases in a day, and it's spreading very fast, and probably it will reach up to 5 lakh of cases per day. Because India has 25% of population has not got even a single vaccine. Because of the vaccination, a lot of people who has got 2 vaccines, they have not got this Omicron variant infection. But even the 25% populations are around 25 crores. So it's a lot of population. So those populations are at very high risk of getting this variant, Omicron variant. And you can see in Delhi also and other parts of the country also, around 80% of cases are coming as Omicron because of this.
I see. Thanks so much for laying that out for us, Doctor. Dr. Garg, if I can come to you next, is it true that people who have recovered from COVID can develop a reinfection with Omicron as well? How serious could that really be?
As we know, the Omicron virus, it's new to all of us, but the other countries' data, that is proving that it has a lot of mutations, which leads to escape of protection, which is given by the previous infections or the vaccines. That is why we need to have a booster dose. But still, a lot of people, those who have antibodies, those who were infected previously, those who are having double vaccination, they are still being infected. And if you see the US data, yesterday it was more than 10 lakhs people, they were infected with Omicron. So we need to be very cautious, careful, as our doctor there said that it is not leading to a lot of serious infection. Other thing is, less people are requiring oxygen, hospitalization, but infectivity is so high that we not need to panic, but carefulness is very much required. But if you see the people who are already having heart disease, those who are having previously COVID, damaged lungs, if they are infected with Omicron, that can lead to more and more damage, and in long term that can impact the health. So we need to see that people, those who are already having Omicron COVID vaccine, they should always keep care with no panic.
It's a perfect site.
This is it.
Any predators like
Sure.
foxes will go
Dr. Kumar, to you then, what is a booster vaccine dose really, and how does it help raise your body's immunity towards COVID-19? Also, if you could tell us the difference between a booster and a third dose of the same vaccine.
really taking the scenery.
Yeah, booster dose is nothing but a means of strengthening one's immune system against a particular pathogen. It may be exactly the same as original vaccine, in which case the goal is to increase the magnitude of protection by producing more antibodies. So this booster dose is just an additional sort of dose of the vaccine, in which case you would get a booster after the immunity from the initial dose naturally starts to wane. The booster is originally designed to people for to maintain the level of immunity for a longer time. What the booster dose does, that it gives a memory cells the crucial signal to re-engage when the viral attacks. So there are in the immune system there is a memory cell. So what happens with that, when a virus comes into the body, this memory cells use the signals to make antibodies and to start getting actions. So this booster dose is protecting from the infection for a longer period. So this for the additional dose is different. Additional dose is like just like some people like diabetes and any like having immunocompromised patients, they don't have enough antibodies even after the normal dose of vaccine which the normal people get. So antibodies are normal after the normal vaccination. But for the immunocompromised patient, the antibodies are not as much as like a normal person when they get vaccine. So that those people, the immunocompromised people and the diabetic people, need a third dose or extra dose for the same vaccines to get the equal number of antibodies in the body. So this booster dose need a slightly less volume compared to the normal dose of vaccine. So these are the two main difference of the booster dose and an additional dose. So what happens that in the COVID-19 infection, when the Delta came, the effectiveness of the vaccine decreased, and when the Omicron came, then the effectiveness of this vaccine also got decreased because it has got a lot of mutation in the spike protein. So this vaccine is less active, but this even if this is less active, but it is protecting the persons. It is protecting everyone for like a serious infection. It's protecting from hospitalization. You can see the hospitalization rate is not as high as compared to Delta variant, and this also protects from death also. So if the unvaccinated people, the death rate is 14 times higher compared to the vaccinated people. So if someone has not got any vaccine, the risk of death is 14 times higher than the one who is having fully vaccinated. So a vaccine is really needed, and I think in India also the booster dose has started, and we should take booster dose. I think according to the government's rules and regulation, the children also should get vaccine right now, and we also need a vaccine for the less than 15 years of children, so that we can make them safe, because today in the newspaper a lot of children got this Omicron infection, and the rate in children is also very high nowadays. So everyone should get vaccinated. I think that is the main concern right now, because if we are vaccinated, we are safe.
I see. Let's take the next question to Dr. Garg. Dr. Garg, we have been seeing healthy and fit individuals pass away with sudden heart attacks recently. Can stress be one of the hidden causes of a heart attack, and your views on the same then?
Yeah, stress is definitely having a lot of negative factor on health. Not only heart disease, but hypertension, brain strokes, cancer, lot of gastric problem, acidity, gastric ulcers, all these have been related to stress. But what we see is of recent onset, we are getting a lot of people, young people especially, they are dying of sudden heart attacks. The reason could be because in present day time, if we see the COVID disease itself leading to prothrombotic state, which means there is high chances of clot formation in blood, and this can lead to many problems, right from heart attack, because if the clot formation in the coronary arteries, it leads to sudden blockage in the arteries, even without pre-existing heart disease. And sometimes the clot formations occur in brain, which can lead to brain strokes. In legs, we get people coming to us with deep vein thrombosis. So a lot of prothrombotic state is there because of high inflammation. That is the reason we all doctors, they are giving antithrombotic or anticoagulant injections during COVID period, and even after COVID recovery, at least 3 months time, we should give anticoagulation, so there should not be any increase in clot formation, which is what we call it prothrombotic state, and that leads to sudden cardiac death. And the second cause of sudden cardiac death is lot of arrhythmias. Arrhythmias means abnormal heart rhythm. That can also lead to sudden stoppage of heart, and that can be hazardous, especially young people, those who are doing gymming, and I would say protein powder, they are having a lot of negative impact on the health of young individuals. That should be really taken with a caution. The other thing is people, those who are already having heart disease, they should be very careful in present day time, because if they have COVID, there is higher chances of clot formation, pre-existing heart disease, over and above thrombus formation can lead to sudden heart attacks. So in present day time, those patients who are already having heart disease, they should take their regular medications, which usually involve antiplatelets treatment like aspirin or clopidogrel, which are already stented or having bypass surgery. So all people, those who are having coronary artery disease, they should take their regular medications, regular blood pressure checkup, because in COVID daytime, all these diseases can increase and lead to sudden heart attacks.
I see. Dr. Kumar, if I can come to you next, people living with type 1 and type 2 diabetes are at increased risk of depression, anxiety, eating disorders due to their constant worry to keep their blood sugars and other health parameters within control range, right? Is it true? And how can people with diabetes better manage constant stress? How huge is stress a factor in managing diabetes?
Yes, you are right. When the patient gets diagnosed with diabetes, whether it's type 1 or type 2, the food restrictions are the same, and all the managements are the same. So whenever the patient gets first time they know that they got diabetes, they get upset because they know that they can't eat sweets for lifelong. So that is that gives a stress, and the people generally feels that they are not able to eat sweets, they are not able to eat rice, they are not able to eat potato. These are the common things which the family members stops to that people. So that's why they get distressed, that they get angry, they get anxiety, and sometimes they stop going outside, they don't go to the social parties and all this, because they know they can't eat all these things. And that's why these are the main reasons why the people gets depressed and when they get diagnosed with the diabetes. So the first thing is that the people should know, the patients should know well what to eat and what not to eat, and they should get a proper education. I think diabetic education is the very important for those type of patients. I think for every patients of type 1, type 2 diabetes, because this is a lifelong disease, and the food habits, the medication, and all the things will continue for lifelong. So they should consult a proper diabetes specialist, because the diabetes specialist will answer all their queries, and they can tell that, okay, this is just like a normal person, just you need to eat less carbohydrate in your diet. And so this part of education is important. So when the patients will know that, okay, they can eat all these things what the doctor has said, then maybe their anxiety and their distress will be less. So I think they should consult a doctor. They should also consult a dietitian, because the dietitian is able to make a proper diet plan, what to eat, what not to eat, because every person is having their different food habits. So according to their food habits, according to a timing of lunch or dinner, dietitian can make a chart that what time what to eat. So in that way they can eat all the things, or whatever the things they want to eat, and they have to restrict the sugar part. So this is important. So in that way they can overcome with the stress, and
important
they
points
also
there.
do some meditation.
There,
they can do meditation, and they can do some relaxation exercise or yoga to relieve the stress.
All right, with that, let's slip into a break. We'll continue this conversation on the other side. Stay tuned. You're watching Health and Wellness, Facts and Myths.
The little pink beak explores the surroundings alone.
सुबह सुबह अलार्म क्लॉक बज
Always
जाती
one
है।
more inquisitive than the others. And that often
कभी
makes
शेफ,
them
कभी कोच भी बन जाती है। हर दिन न जाने कितने किरदार निभाए, और जितने किरदार उतने दर्द। क्या राज है जो हर दर्द से जीत जाती हो?
दर्द से क्या डरना, टाइगर बाम रेड है ना।
क्योंकि इसमें है 100 देशों के करोड़ों लोगों का आजमाया हुआ यूनिक फॉर्मूला, जो दे दर्द से तुरंत राहत। टाइगर बाम, दर्द जहां असर वहां।
टूर्नामेंट जीतने का विनिंग प्लान।
Then everything happens at once. The sun breaks through the fog. The big male surprises everyone and preempts my signal to leave.
ग्रेट इनिंग्स सर। पर आपको पता है go
I have to catch them up.
कन्वेयर बेल्ट टूट गई
How little explorer is caught off
और
guard.
कल तक अगर नहीं आई ना तो फैक्ट्री की इनिंग्स खत्म इसके लिए आपके पास कोई उसके लिए
In the wild, she would have a slim chance.
डिलीवरी और टॉप क्वालिटी हरदम नो टेंशन नो फिकर क्योंकि अब
I forced the squadron to fly close to the surface to stay visible for the little while.
From bartering to cash and coins to digital transactions, money is evolving. The way we make money is evolving. And now it's time to go crypto crazy. But can you shop online using crypto? Can you invest in crypto? Is it even legal? Well, we are here to bring you all the answers and decrypt the world of cryptocurrency. Welcome back. You're watching Health and Wellness Facts and Myths. We're in conversation with our panel of experts. Let's take the next question to Dr. Garg. Dr. Garg, if one suffers from hypertension, one is more likely to experience mood swings, anxiety, depression compared to people with normal blood pressure.
Everyone.
Can hypertension not
you
just
to the
accelerate
CES
anxiety but actually
2022
cause
back
it
in
as well?
Las Vegas.
Yeah, if you say
It's so
anxiety
great
and
to be back with
hypertension,
people.
both are
Of course,
interrelated.
technology has kept us
Anxious people
connected
have
during
more
the
chances
pandemic.
of
It's been a
hypertension.
great
What
tool
we
for
call is
businesses,
type A
families, and our
personality.
society.
Type
And
A
it's kept us
personality
moving
means they are
forward.
always
But
anxious,
after 2 years,
having
or
high
almost 2 years
perspiration,
of relying on
having
technology,
tendency to do the
our
things early,
expectations for the products we
restlessness.
love are
So
now
all
even
these
higher.
people, they have
And to
higher
meet
chances
these
of hypertension. And you see, hypertension is one of the major risk factor of heart disease. Not only heart disease, but brain strokes. They are more common in people those who are having hypertension. Kidney disease. And stress and anxiety is also related to all the diseases, even leading to some of the cancer diseases. They can be related to stress. People, those who are having hypertension, if they keep their blood pressure well in range with medication or with diet control, able to reduce their salt, able to reduce their weight, they can maintain their blood pressure. And even we have seen that these patients, those who do regular yoga, able to reduce their stress, they can be off medication. And we have seen young people, those who are obese, if we start medications, along with that lifestyle modification, all these measures of diet, weight reduction and yoga, we are able to reduce the dose of antihypertensive medication, as well as sometimes we are able to off them. Totally there would not be any requirement of medications. Hypertension not only related to heart, but if you see people having kidney diseases, chronic renal failure, pancreatic disease, all these could be because of uncontrolled blood pressure. So controlling blood pressure, controlling anxiety, stress level is very important, especially in today's day time when there is a lot of competitiveness, a lot of stress in our life. So that becomes more relevant in today's time.
That's true. Important both for hypertension and for diabetes. Let me take that next question to Dr. Kumar then. Dr. Kumar, is it true that poor sleep quality and a late bedtime are associated with more pronounced glycemic response to breakfast the following morning? How does disturbed sleep patterns actually affect your glucose metabolism?
Yes, it's true that if you sleep late or if you are having a decreased sleep in the night, following day your blood sugar postprandial can get increased. So there is a high blood sugar levels after the poor sleep. So what happened that there was a recent study recently by Professor Chan.
Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome to the Vice Chairman and CEO
Boston
from
School
Samsung
of
Electronics,
Harvard
J.H.
Chan School of
Han.
Public Health in Boston. So they have done one study regarding this. Examined whether the night fluctuation, the sleep fluctuation, and that is causing high sugar or not. So they published their data in Diabetologia. There is one Journal of European Association for Study of Diabetes recently that find that bedtime routines and poor quality of sleep are associated with higher blood glucose levels and higher postprandial blood glucose levels next morning. So this study definitely proves that if you sleep late in the night, or if you are taking less sleep in the night, then your blood sugar will be higher following after the breakfast. So we need a proper sleep in the night because sleep is important. If you are not taking a good sleep, then what happens that it will increase the insulin resistance, because less sleep increases the cortisol level in our body. So if your cortisol level is high, that will increase your blood sugar levels. So the insulin resistance will be high, and then your blood sugar will go high. Less sleep also cause increase inflammatory markers in your body, the increased oxidative stress that also causing high blood sugar. Then the other inflammatory markers like C-reactive protein, that is CRP, IL-6, TNF-alpha, these are the other markers which gets high, and that causing high blood sugar if you are not able to sleep properly in the night. So all these effects are causing high blood sugar. So sleep is very important, and you have to be a sound sleep, and then your blood sugar will be better. If you are taking like 8 hours of sleep in the night, then you are able to control your blood sugar in a better way.
I see. All right. So the importance of sleep, highlighting and coming out in ways of your health. So very, very crucial to keep that in check. Thank you both for joining us on today's show. That's all the time we have. We'll see you again tomorrow. Bye for now.
Otomobilinden daha fazlasını isteyenlerin tercihi. Castrol. Hayat sizden hep daha fazlasını ister. Siz de Volkswagen'inizden. Teknoloji, güven ve performansın temsilcisi Volkswagen, Castrol Edge'le size istediğinizden fazlasını verir. Sıvı titanyum teknolojisine sahip Castrol Edge, motorunuzun gerçek performansını ortaya çıkarır. Castrol Edge, zorlu şartlar altında otomobilinden daha fazlasını isteyenler için geliştirilmiştir. Castrol Edge, 0-20 basınç altında daha güçlüdür. Yakıt verimliliği, düşük karbon emisyonu sağlar. Benzersiz ve zamansız ilişkiler vardır ve bazı tercihler. Zaman geçse de değişmeyen. Otomobilinden daha fazlasını isteyenlerin ve Doğuş Otomotiv'in Volkswagen için tercihi Castrol.
For future where connected experiences bring us together and unlock new values in our lives and in society. We believe that everyone should be able to customize their devices, that the cutting-edge technologies are more connected and intuitive. This will help us find a better way to use technologies for tomorrow. Foster a sense of community and improve how we live. I am excited for you to be a part of our vision, to see how innovation can create positive change. To join us and work together for tomorrow. Together can make the impact we need to solve our challenges and experience life's opportunities. In 1967, the Southern together for the first step of functional electronics. Both technology and society have advanced electricity. Yet, all things progress alone is not enough. We need to live in balance with our natural ecosystems. This balance is only possible when we join together to preserve our environment and reimagine a better planet. So today, I want to share more about how Samsung is investing to create a healthier environment. how you, our customers and partners, can play an important role joining us to build a better market. After all, we know you are passionate about sustainability. Today, we recycle energy and choose products. Every year, Samsung sells up to 1 billion devices and many smart devices available today from this Samsung chipsets. Our innovations have become an integral part of everyday life. So much that even the small changes can make a big difference beyond our imagination. This has led us to rethink our product life cycle. How?
सभी गवाहों और सबूतों को
building
मद्देनजर रखते हुए
sustainability
ये
into
अदालत वीरू
product
कटारिया जी
journey
को बाइज्जत
from
रिहा करती है।
manufacturing and packaging to product use and disposal. In manufacturing,